All right, guys, we're back for part two of the movie It, Chapter 2, Analysis and Practical Application, Psychological Significance. Okay, so we're looking at this, and we left off talking about the full solution to solving your problem. And what that full solution is to name the problem out loud. That gets the problem out of your mind and it gets it out into the open where the problem actually tends to shrink. It doesn't become as foreboding as it is when it's in your mind because things are often distorted whenever they stay up in our mind, okay? Also why it is no longer it at that moment. It's verbalized and it's brought into life as something that can then be parsed out and systematically defeated, okay? It's very important to do that in psychotherapy and just in general with your problems, okay? The full solution was to name out the problem and confront it at its worst intensity. And for example, Bill does this whenever he is, when he's battling, I guess it was the image of his brother who was saying, "You lied and I died," or something like that. And it was intense, guys. And so he told himself, he's like, "No, it wasn't your fault. He said, it wasn't your fault. You know, you had every right not to want to play with him in the rain or whatever it was." And so he tells himself this, and that was the moment where he was maximally courageous and courageous enough to confront the clown, okay? So it's important to note that Stanley stays behind. He never went back home. Never went back home to deal with his problem. And he knew that he wasn't brave enough. And so this movie basically tells you that you have to go back home and defeat your problems so that you don't end up like Stanley. Craven, fearful, afraid of the world, afraid of himself, and constantly carrying the weight of the problems that he acquired in adolescence but never could break free from. That's not a life you want to live. Okay? And this movie highlights the significance of battling your demons early. At the beginning of the movie, Richie says, "Guys, you know, we went 27 years without having to see this clown again. Why do we have to do it now? Why can't we just kick the can down the road?" And then someone replies, "Well, we can't do that. We'll be 70 by then." That's exactly right. That's exactly right. There's a concept in psychology, and I think this is true for just about any issue. If you have a problem that you ignore, that you say does not matter, time passes, and the problem gets bigger, and you get smaller. Especially when it stays in your head. The problem grows, and you shrink. But you still have to fight it. You still have to fight it. And this concept was also discussed in Endgame. Whenever the superheroes came to battle the same villains, but they were older versions of themselves. You know, Thor especially alcoholic, you know, and psychologically defeated, you know, and it's like, that's the idea. You know, you get older, you have more problems. You're not the same person you were before, and it's harder for you to get up and fight these battles. So you definitely want to do them early and when they announce themselves. Okay? So the other thing about this movie is that it's grotesque. It's rated R. It has a lot of gore and horror elements to it. But, you know, I think that kind of makes the movie what it is. And that's the way that the writer intended to dramatize this psychological concept. And I don't think that it's wrong to do that, because your problems are serious. Our problems, it is serious. It's no joke, and it can literally drive you to suicide. It can literally drive you to murder, drug addiction, uh, any kind of destructive behavior, you name it. Or just generally living beneath your potential, which is a tragedy. You know? So it's no joke that you face this clown, and this clown comes back. Your problems come back, and you have to fight it. So the horror element is, yeah, facing your demons is kind of horrific. It's kind of horrific. And it can damage you. But the movie also is a symbol of courage, and it's a symbol of hope that it is possible. No matter how difficult it is or what it is that you've gone through, it is possible to develop the level of courage that it takes to face your fear, to confront your deepest insecurities, and to move past them and be a stronger person and live the life that you know you can live and that you want to live. So that's what I like about this movie. And that's the psychological significance of it. That's how it's practically relevant in your life. And I hope you enjoyed this analysis. Again, my name is Justin Barilla. I'm a psychology student, undergraduate level, and if you like this kind of thing, subscribe to my channel. Leave me a thumbs up, maybe a comment. I'll welcome your comments if you agree or disagree on any of this stuff, or if you have any comments about maybe that ayahuasca situation, whatever happens there, the super esoteric type of light, turn light to darkness moniker. I'm not going to touch that here. Okay, I don't really know what that's talking about. That's up to speculation. Okay, so if you guys want to talk about anything like this, feel free to leave a comment down in the description. This is my first movie review. This is my first analysis, and I hope you like it. If you guys do, then maybe you'll see more of this kind of thing. Okay, take care.